Shields up, Ironbreakers, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Wilds. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you a crash course on how to play the hunting horn based on what I've played of it so far in the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. Once the final version of the game releases, I'll be sure to make a more in-depth guide, but for now, this one should be enough to get you started and beaten on some monsters with the good old dude stick. So let's talk about the mechanics of the hunting horn. This is one of the more unique weapons in Monster Hunter. It utilizes a system of notes, melodies, and performances in order to grant you and your allies buffs and also beat the crap out of the monsters while you're doing it. And it is actually really satisfying, and the Wilds version of the hunting horn is absolutely phenomenal. So let's start by talking about notes. If you take a look on the top right hand side, you will see that I have button prompts associated with notes of different colors. So in this case, we have the triangle for the white note, the circle for the red note, and triangle and circle for the yellow note. Now, these are going to be replaced by Xbox button prompts if you happen to be using an Xbox controller, or certain keys if you happen to be using mouse and keyboard, and you will be able to tell which note is which. But in this case, on the Xbox controller, I would imagine that the white note would be Y, the red note would be B, and then yellow note would be Y and B played together. Now, the way that this works is that you play these melodies by performing attacks, because each of these is going to also be an attack, and then you want to play the notes in order to form the melodies that you see a little bit more to the left of the note assignment. And as you can see there, there's going to be a list of buffs: self-improvement, attack up S, fire resistance, sonic waves, and echo wave blunt. So if you perform the inputs in the correct order, you're going to play a melody, and that melody is going to show up on your melody list, which is all the way to the left side, which right now the only thing that is in there is echo wave blunt. So let's go ahead and do the self-improvement so that you guys can see what that is like. We already have a white note, so we play another white note, and we have self-improvement ready to go. And now the way that this works is you're going to press on the trigger, and that is going to play the two musics, the two melodies that you have banked, because I already had echo wave blunt banked. And that plays the two tunes. Boom. Bob's your uncle. Done. You now have the buff for self-improvement. But the thing is, there's a mechanic called encore, which is whenever you play a melody, you can hit the right trigger a second time in order to play that melody again, and you get the maximum effect of the melody, which extends its duration, and sometimes it also boosts the effect. So in the case of self-improvement, whenever you play it once, you're going to get a speed increase, and then if you play it with an encore, you're going to also get an attack boost, and your attacks can no longer be deflected, so essentially you have Mind's Eye, which is pretty cool. So the way that you do that is you're going to play that note again, and then we are going to perform that note, and then at the end, we're going to perform it again. And that does the encore. Now, you now know the basics of playing notes and doing melodies, even though we only really did self-improvement. If you want to do attack up, the notes are different. They are triangle, circle, triangle. But also remember, you don't want to just be hitting notes. You want to be hitting something. So we're going to hit the barrel. So triangle, circle, triangle. Boom. And you now banked attack up. And so now you can go ahead and you can do the performance. And then you do the encore. And boom, you now have the maximum effect of attack up that this hunting horn can give you with its maximum duration, which is pretty cool. Now the thing is, you can bank up to 3 melodies whenever you perform. So if we go ahead and we just do, for instance, self-improvement, attack up S, and let's say fire resistance, right? You basically do this, and then because we already have a white note on the board, because that was the last note we played in order to bank self-improvement, we can just go ahead and play a red note, and then another white note, and we go straight into attack up. Now, the next one that we want to do is fire resistance. We don't really have a note banked up for that, so we have to start from scratch. That's going to be triangle and circle, and then we're going to do circle, and then we're going to do triangle. And now we have all 3 buffs, all banked up, all good to go. So now you can go ahead and you can do your performance. And you can see it's going to play all the tunes. Once it reaches the end, you want to hit the right trigger, and that is going to do the encore, and now you have the maximum of those buffs. But the thing is, with Monster Hunter Wilds, they changed the way that performance works, and it's so much cooler now. So let's go ahead and bank up those melodies again. Now, you don't have to bank 3 melodies. I personally just like banking 3 melodies. I think it's fun to do it that way. But oh, I messed up the fire melody. I can't believe it. Whatever, we'll just do 2 self-improvements for now. The important thing is, once you start the performance, you can actually go ahead and hit the right trigger again, and that is going to do extra attacks, which is really cool. So if you just mash on right trigger, it's gonna keep doing extra attacks while you're performing, and it feels really nice. It feels way better than performance has ever felt, in my opinion, as someone that did play a little bit of horn in World. Like, the performance here feels the best that it's ever felt. So that is really cool. But now another very important thing about this, and I'm going to start banking notes for the next example, is that there's actually a timing to this whole thing. And so you are required to play the notes in a certain timing, almost like the perfect rush of Sword and Shield. That is also really cool in my opinion. So you're going to notice that there are going to be some notes as the music is about to end, almost like, you know, when you're cooking your well done steaks and like dun 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 dun. Well, on this game it's a little bit different, but you guys get the idea. There's a timing element to it, right? And as the music stops, the weapon is going to glow white, and that is when you want to hit the trigger again, and that is going to make it so that it deals more damage. So, for instance, and here it goes. Hit it now. And I missed every single one of them. No, I hit the last one. It's because I was trying to speak while I was doing it, which makes it a little bit harder, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. But yeah, this performance stuff takes quite a bit of practice, so you want to make sure that you pay attention when the weapon is glowing white, and it is usually right at the end of the musical performance of the instrument. That is when you want to hit the trigger again. Got that one still, and I missed the last one, but you guys get the idea, right? You want to time it at around those times. It goes like do, 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 trigger, do, 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 trigger. That's the overall idea, but it is going to require quite a bit of practice. And like I said, I just recently discovered how to do this particular system as I was recording the video, which was interesting. Now, another mechanic that I want to tell you guys about is double notes. Now, the way that double notes work is that there are going to be certain moves in the hunting horn that are going to give you 2 notes if you're able to take advantage of them. Those particular moves are going to be your circle move and your triangle and circle moves. So basically you can get 2 notes off instead of 1 per attack, and that is going to be one of the mechanics of the hunting horn. You're always going to be trying to weave in as much notes to the actions that you are taking as possible, as you will see in some of the next mechanics that we're going to be talking about. So if you want to get like a double note on circle, for instance, let's say we want to do echo wave blunt. There's 2 circle notes there. You want to input a direction because unfortunately not all of the note attacks work, but usually when you're playing with hunting horn, you're always going to be inputting directions because you want to aim your attack at a monster. And you can also get something like you can go back, and it does this this hilt stab, they call it, which is just kind of like a faster note. And you can also just like, you can be doing an attack and then you press back and you're going to be able to like move a little bit backwards as well. But you're always going to be inputting direction. I'm just saying this because if you try doing circle without a directional input, you actually can't play the double note. But the way that it works is, let's say we go white note, then we want double red notes, so we press red and we press mash red again, and as you can see we got 2 notes. And the same thing happens with the yellow note. So if we want to do, say, sonic waves, if we mash triangle and circle, you're going to see that we get 2 notes off of 1 attack. And again, directional input though. See right there, we only did 1 attack, but we got 2 notes off. So this works for both the red note and the circle note. You guys are going to be a little bit confused with the double notes if this is the first time that you're playing the hunting horn, but don't worry too much about it. Just focus on getting the notes that you want off, and you'll realize that the double notes just come naturally. It's just a mechanic that I know that some of the veterans will appreciate knowing, so I figured I'd bring it up, okay? So now you'll notice that there's a special melody there that is off to the side called the offset melody. Now, offsets are special attacks that certain weapons have that allow you to counter certain monster moves, and they're very, very satisfying to pull off. Now, the hunting horn has one as well, but the way that it works is you have to play that melody before you can do your offset attack. And so you're going to go ahead and you play that melody, which is yellow note, red note, yellow note, white note. And now we've played the offset melody. You'll notice that it shows up in the middle of all of our melodies at the very top. However, the different aspect of the offset melody is that it doesn't go away until you perform an offset attack. So if we were to perform right now, right? Notice that it used up all of the melodies there, but offset melody is still there. So once you play the offset melody once, you don't have to worry about it until you need to use the offset attack. So you effectively bank the offset melody for later use. And anyways, the way that you then perform the offset attack, you can see it on screen right now, but it is right trigger, triangle, and circle, or in, the Xbox case would be right trigger and Y and B, and that is going to do this. And if you time that right, and that attack hits the monster while it's doing like a big commitment animation attack, you're going to be able to offset the monster and beat the crap out of him. But even if you don't hit the monster, even if you don't hit him in the middle of his attack, but you still hit, the attack still does a decent chunk of damage, so it's not like a complete waste. But that's the intended design behind the offset melody. So you basically can bank it whenever you're thinking that you might want to need it. Usually the idea is you just bank the offset and keep it on you until you want to risk an offset. And then once you do it, you go ahead and you play the offset melody again. Now, another mechanic that we have that is completely new with Monster Hunter Wilds is Echo Bubbles. Echo Bubbles are really, really cool. So the way that you do this is X plus right trigger. You can see that it is actually placed right up there next to your song list. And your character does this. And now, this thing also gives you a buff in which it increases, I think, your movement speed or something like that. And it also gives you an evasion buff. I think it actually shows if I exit the circle and then I enter it again. Yep, evasion and movement speed up. So you move even faster here and you get a little bit of benefit of evade window, which is for whenever you dodge, you have more invincibility frames. So while you're inside here, you're getting buffed. But that's not all. Whenever you play notes, this thing deals damage. But the cool thing is that it deals damage no matter where you are. So if I'm over here and I play a note, that thing still deals damage. I can already see that some people are going to do some creative stuff with this. At least I hope they will, because I'm pretty sure it'll be really fun. And the cool thing is you get to have 3 of these. If you notice on your gauge on the top left-hand side, where all your musical notes are showing up as you play them, there are these 3 little balls that are next to your notes. And if we do this, you'll notice that one of them is going to disappear. And those 3 little balls represent the amount of echo bubbles that you can place down. So at any given time, you can have 3 echo bubbles. Sorry, I missed the input there. Boom. And so whenever you do anything, whether that is playing notes, whether that is performing, all of these bad boys are going to deal damage, which is pretty cool. They deal damage, you move faster, you have additional evade window. It's a ton of fun. So whenever you get it down, it's worth it to at least try and pop one of these echo bubbles in there. But the other really cool thing about echo bubbles is that they also allow you to play a couple of extra notes whenever you are doing the animation for Echo Bubble. So for instance, I'm going to cast Echo Bubble, and then we're going to do Echo Wave Blunt while the Echo Bubble is casting. So that's going to be 1 white note and 2 red notes. I only got one of them off because I was a little bit slow. I'm sorry, I'm old in my old age. There we go. And we got the 3 notes off, which is pretty friggin' cool. I wasn't even aware that you could play notes while you were doing that. Cowboy was the one who told me. But yeah, that is pretty badass, and it is a way that you can basically, whenever you have a monster that is downed, you can just play the echo bubble, and then at the same time just get a note ready so that you can then do a performance. So like doing something like an Echo Wave Blunt will ensure that you will deal a decent chunk of damage, which is pretty cool, which is why I gave you the example of the Echo Wave Blend, because then you can do this and it will deal additional damage, and then you can perform the Echo Wave Blend. Look at all those numbers popping up. And you know, if you have additional Echo Bubbles, all of them are going to be dealing damage all over the place, which is an absolute blast. And then finally, we also have Focus Strike, like every weapon. The Hunting Horn also has a Focus Strike. And the way that you do it is going to be left trigger and press R1, and it's going to do this. Now, I can't show you what the Focus Strike looks on here. That is why we're going to be beating on a Chatacabra as usual. But basically, if you hit a wound with this particular attack, you're going to start riffing off like a guitar solo, and that allows you to bank up to 5 notes. So you can play 5 notes. That means you can play, like, I don't know, 2 melodies in the start of another one, or you can play your offset melody. Basically, you can input a bunch of notes while you're doing this. And if you time those notes, which I've never done because it's like a rhythm game, kind of like when you're doing the performance thing. If you time those notes, there's going to be bonus damage and bonus effects for doing that. But now, that's enough of me yapping. Hopefully you guys get the basics of it. Let's go ahead and beat the crap out of a Chatacabra with this Saxaboom, shall we? Okay, so as we're moving towards the Chatacabra, the Hunting Horn actually has a really cool mechanic on the Sacred, which is you can play notes while you're on the Sacred. So if you hit triangle or Y, you're going to play one note. But the thing is, as he is unsheathing the weapon to play the note, you can hit a different note and you'll play that one instead. So if we play this one again, because I do want to get self-improvement, but if we extract the Hunting Horn one more time and I press circle or B, he's going to play the red note. Then if I play triangle or Y again, he's going to, you know, give us the attack up buff and bank that up together with self-improvement, which is really nice. You can also play the circle triangle note or Y and B by extracting the weapon. I keep saying extracting for some reason. Unsheathing the weapon and then pressing triangle and circle or Y and B. That'll give you the yellow note. Now, we don't really need to do any of the melodies with the yellow note, so I'm not going to be doing it. But you can also perform. So you pull out the weapon and you press the trigger, he's going to perform. And then if you press the trigger again at the end, you're also going to get the encore, which is pretty cool. So you can be en route to attacking the monster, and you can be buffing yourself and your teammates if they happen to be close by, which is a pretty interesting mechanic, the fact that you can actually buff on Sacred. And, you know, it might be useful for people that want to use the Hunting Horn as kind of like a secondary weapon to buff themselves, even though I don't think the hassle of constantly having to reapply buffs is worth it, but you do you. The other thing that you can do is, obviously, you have your dismount attack, which is Y and B or triangle and circle. Does a decent chunk of mounting damage, and it's a pretty good attack all around. And then you can also jump off of the Sacred if you want to. Press triangle or Y, and you will play that note. I think that the other dismount attack is better, but this one plays one note, so if you need to do that for whatever reason, you can do it that way. But as per usual, when it comes to initiating an engagement, obviously, in my opinion, one of the best ways is still to go ahead and sneak attack, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Bam! And since we already have all of our buffs, we're going to go ahead and do the Echo Bubble, and we're going to go into Echo Wave while we're doing Echo Bubble. And let's actually, shall we do 3? Yeah, let's go for 3. Oops. Messed that up. Messed that up. Didn't mean to do that. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm pressing this all wrong. I need to press the X and then the perform button to do the Echo Bubble. Yeah, like that. And there it is. We now have Echo Wave Blunt. There's 3 bubbles in here. Oh my god. Why'd you have to fall away from the bubbles, though? Why'd you have to be like that, brother? Why won't you just let me play you the Song of My People? We're gonna go into performance now. Using focus mode to reposition a little bit. And the Echo. Oh man, he's down again, huh? That's terrible. Oh, I don't have Echo Bubbles? Oh man, I'm so sad. I've wasted all my Echo Bubbles. And I was like, why isn't Echo Bubble working? I like it so much. He bounced off the Echo Bubble. Oh my god, this weapon's so good. Let's go ahead and play the offset melody while we're at it. Hey bro, how you doing? I still struggle a little bit to pop the offset, not the offset, but the echo bubble every now and then. There we go, performance engaged. Bang! And another one. Oh, there was only 2 in that melody? I didn't even pay attention. Okay, let's go ahead. Pop them wounds. That is lovely. This is just straight up bullying at this point. Oh, we don't have bubbles. Let's see if I can perform an offset attack, which is right trigger, triangle, and circle at the same time. Well, we hit the attack, but it didn't really do the offset thing. I'm trying to get the offset melody again, but I'm whiffing a lot of the notes. My muscle memory with the dude stick is still not all there, but hopefully my explanation at the beginning of the video gives you a good idea of how the weapon works. Okay, we now have offset melody again. Looks like he's leaving. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuff attack up. Alright. Could have done that while on the mount. I still have, again, muscle memory. Still not all there. Let's see if we can get another sneak attack. Unless he's sleeping, because if he's sleeping, we won't be able to get one. He is. Okay, well, in that case, I'm just going to wake him up with an echo bubble. There's probably better things to do for a wake up, but... Oh my god, this is just so evil. And I'm gonna do it again. No, listen, you don't understand here, my dude. You don't understand what's gonna happen here. I wanted to do the offset so bad. I risked it all for nothing. Oh well. Because like you can't offset that move. And we killed him. We didn't even get a focus strike. Or did we? No, we did get a focus strike. But yeah, this weapon is super fun. I cannot recommend it enough. Really, like even if you've never been like a dude stick guy, I recommend check it out. It is so much fun. I absolutely loved it. But that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.